Welcome to the three body narrative, and we are three people with a whole load of unfinished business. We are your podcast hosts, Pradi, Aaron, and Naeem, and we are here to talk to you about everything there is to do with pop culture movies, TV shows, and games. Now, it's the Halloween spooky, scary season, and to supposedly celebrated, we've gone back a few years, a few decades, and we're here to review Casper. Yeah, Casper. Now, what is Casper all about? Well, when paranormal therapist Dr. James Harvey and his daughter Kat move, or are rather recruited, to the haunted Biffstaff Manor by Carrington, they discover that it's home to a friendly ghost Casper and his three chaotic uncles, the ghostly trio. What begins as a professional ghost cleansing gig turns into a story of friendship, loss, and learning to let go. Boy, I wish we could let go at some points while watching it, but nonetheless, let's start with our ratings for this movie. Who wants to go first?
Yeah. I'm up first today. Okay. I'm actually confused with this movie. Thing is,
Wow, I didn't think this was really complicated.
there's a lot of nostalgia involved here, so
Mm-hmm.
that really impacts the rating I have for this movie. So I'm torn apart between like a 2.5 to a 3 for this movie.
Okay, okay,
Uh,
phew.
Again, like I would want to give it a 3 because of the nostalgic feels I have for the movie, but then I think considering like the times when I felt the pacing, there is, I don't know how to describe it, but it felt dated, but not in ways of like how the animation felt or any of that. Like that was perfectly fine for me. I thought for 90s it did animation quite well. Uh, Honestly, acting wise also it was pretty okay. Like, I mean, considering the kind of movie it's trying to be, I think it was fine. It was entertaining from that perspective, but again, like, I really felt the pace at times. um a lot of the times some of the dialogues, especially for Casper, felt very creepy, even though he's supposed to be the same age as Christina's character. It just felt very like it wouldn't fit in today's world of sorts.
Yeah.
Especially that line where like, "Can I keep you?" I don't know what it was about that, but there's again like two parts of that. One is like, I feel the nostalgia when I hear that line, "Can I keep you?" But I also feel the creepiness in that line, because it's not the first time I'm watching the
What's the
movie.
no-
Like
Yeah, but what's the nostalgia
I
for Can I
watched it
Keep?
back in the
Okay.
90s,
Yeah,
and I think the
yeah.
kind of
I'm
feeling
a
I had
little
back then,
concerned.
the innocence with which you watch this movie, and how you kind of feel, or you come back to the movie and watch now, and you kind of get like very weird vibes from it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, certain things like, again, like I don't want to dive too deep into it, but certain choices that were made during the movie, I felt would have been better if they hadn't gone that specific way, and maybe things would have been slightly better in terms of rating it. But yeah, I'm 2.5 to 3 is what I would end up at, but I think I'd go with the 2.5 probably for this movie. Again, from a perspective that I did enjoy the movie, in the sense that I had forgotten pretty much a lot about it,
Yeah.
leaving out barring a few lines here and there, and a couple of sequences. But then, like, largely some of the key plots I had completely forgotten about. So, uh, yeah, I didn't mind revisiting it, but I don't know, like, if this was a movie that came out now, for sure, like, this wouldn't even be getting a 2.5 out of 5 for me, I suppose.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Is that, I don't know. No, he doesn't want to rate it this. He doesn't
He's
want to
like
rate
he's
it.
like
Uh,
contemplating, like, no, I don't want to. I don't want
Come on,
to.
Adam, you've done good.
I'm stunned with your nostalgic comment. That was interesting. Uh, yeah, I think I'd rate this a 2. And really, didn't find too many redeeming uh, features in the movie, to be honest. I think there were a couple of good moments. I think probably when the ghostly trio, I think they were a bit of
Yeah.
a fun this thing in the movie. Besides that, I don't think there was a whole lot more. I think probably not on the podcast, but at some point we spoke about the cameo, or at least the throwback to Ghostbusters. So that was a pretty neat kind of Easter egg, or not really an Easter egg because it was there right in front of
Yeah.
your face. But yeah, that was something that was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't think the story was anything great. I maybe I'm being overcritical by thinking of the story or kind of picking plot holes in it, which probably kids that this was targeted to wouldn't do. But I think the movie was not the best, and because probably I watched it, even the first time I watched it was quite I mean, relatively recent in terms of how old this movie was, and so yeah, there wasn't so much of a nostalgic feel for me, to be honest.
Fair. Fair. Okay, so I'm also torn. I think I would give it a 2.5 out of 5 as well. There is a bit of nostalgia, not for the movie, but for Casper and the Ghostly Trio. You remember when KFC used to dole out VHS tapes for fun, right? And I had the so Casper has a sequel, a direct-to-video sequel called Casper: A Spirited Beginning or something, and I got that from one of those KFC meals.
Is that the one where the giant green ghost was there?
Yes, Kibosh. Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so
That
I
movie
remember
love.
that. Yeah, so that I'm pretty sure would like I'd rip my hair out watching it today. But at that point in time, it was a lot of fun. So I really love Casper. I think I remember also reading Casper comic strips that used to come in newspapers. So I used to read a couple of those. But overall, I think this movie was all right. It was nice to see again, revisit a movie which had a young Christina Ricci, a young Bill Pullman, a person who I haven't seen in a long time. I just recently saw him in that TV show Sinner, if I'm not mistaken, where he looks like a haggard hobo, but here, obviously, less haggard, still a hobo, definitely less haggard. But it was nice to see that. I think it had a few nice moments. I think especially with the Ghostly Trio, I loved those three goofballs. It was fun to see them, and I think that the way they treated Casper was pretty spot on. I think that little numbskull was a bit of a pain in the ass at times, and just a little too much of a people pleaser. And but you're right, Naeem. I think there were points where I was creeped out by the things he was saying and doing, especially when he became a pillow for Cat. I was like, why? Why are you doing that? Like, that's not normal.
Also, I think quite like right after meeting her, at almost like a couple of scenes later or something, he gives her a peck on the cheek, and I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, it's like a whole other level of creepiness.
Yeah, and I mean, asking her if, like, I know he's desperate for a friend. I get that. It's been generations since he's got any sort of affection or
Yeah,
love, right?
a friend would be
But
fine.
even then, I think I don't know in which era he was born, and maybe in that era it was all right to do such things. But yeah, no, it definitely seemed
My
freak.
only thing was for the short lifespan he had as
Yeah,
as a human, right? Like it just felt like he was too quick to focus on certain aspects that he kind of wanted to see through. Like I would understand if it was a teenage Casper and
yeah. This was a pretty
young, right? Like he's
young
supposed to be 10, 12.
8 10
Yeah,
years old, I
yeah.
think. Yeah, so the
Anyway,
backstory was something that really I liked. I think it's a very sad story to what actually happens to Casper, and I wasn't sure as to which film. I thought, because I'd seen the other one as well, the new beginning. I thought the story was told in that and not in this, but it was in this one. And yeah, that's a bit of a sad bit to it, and I like that bit of backstory. I've seen other movies as well try and do that, and to some good extent. And yeah, that bit was fun. But apart from it, yeah, I don't know if it fit the entire I know it's meant to be also during the Halloween time, but there was very little Halloween in it. More just normal. It was more. I don't know where to place it. It just felt it was meant for kids, but it wasn't scary enough to be a Halloween feature. It just felt like a regular kids movie. So overall, yeah, 2.5 is where I'd place it. It wasn't god awful bad, nor was it something that I want to revisit anytime soon. Right. So with that being said, I think let's move on to the plots or plot points that we want to discuss. And the one thing that really irked me at the start were the villains. Like, I've seen goofball villains in a lot of kids movies, right? Whether it be Home Alone, whether it be
Baby's Day Out.
Baby's Day Out. Yeah, you see a lot of them, right? Like during the 90s with those kind of these kind of movies. But for the first time, I had zero fear for what the villains were going to do. Honestly, I didn't even think that they were villains per se. I just thought they were idiots.
Yeah, like I think Cruella in 101 Dalmatians had me more scared than
Oh,
these.
yeah. Dude, she was skinning dogs, man. This one was just basically. They didn't do anything. I know that they were like on the lookout for treasure, right? But that also just broke away halfway. I just didn't feel like they were wanting to do anything whatsoever with the house until that entire ending climax happened, I suppose.
I don't think that was supposed to be the focus of the movie anyway. It was just like a side plot to have to get the movie from point A to point B. Because honestly, they didn't have too much of a role to play, other than the fact that she needed to get the the family to the castle, basically, right? And I think the rest of it is just to kind of delay the whole process of that machine working, to get Casper to being a human again, right? Like,
Yeah, no, I see the. Okay, fine. So let's look at it from a villain's perspective, right? Her father dies, leaves leaves a haunted mansion, which I think with a bit of sprucing up and a bit of spring cleaning would have actually looked quite nice. I quite liked how spacious the house looked and everything. I think just with a good urban company clap deep cleaning service, they could have. Yeah, we're not sponsored by anyone, but feel free to. But yeah, no, with all of the deep cleaning service, I think it would have looked pretty. It would look really, really nice. But yeah, so they leave her. He leaves her this house, right? She is pissed off about it, but somehow finds that there is an invisible sentence on the will which says that there's a treasure buried inside the house, right? And the only way that she can get into the treasure is by hiring, because it's infested by ghosts, is by hiring the doctor and his kid. Now, beyond that point, there's not much that they actually do towards getting that treasure.
But the concept is that they can't really enter the house until the ghosts have gone away. And that takes a while until they go out to party with the father, or the guy.
No, they were planning to break down the house. I don't understand. Okay, so they couldn't, because people entering the house itself were this thing. They could have just broken it down, taken a wrecking ball, and blasted it from outside.
But, considering it is haunted, you would not know what would happen if they tried to kind of, or how do you say, bring it down, I suppose. Even if it's from the outside. It's not like the ghosts were limited to. They chose to stay there, but it wasn't like they were limited to that vicinity or anything like that or such. I mean,
But yeah,
again, diving too deep into something that I'm sure the people scripting did not even give too much about. For them, I very much
it did
believe
feel
in,
like it did feel like they didn't care 2 cents. They were like,
yeah,
oh shit, we have to bring back the villains at some point, so let's like bring them back in the third act, and then let's have them die and get reborn back again. No, they didn't. I think they just died.
they just died. Yeah.
Yeah, just a weird bunch of villains. But that's the one thing that irked me. I think a lot of kids movies around that time I really liked because the villains were entertaining at least entertaining. Here it just felt like it it didn't serve any purpose for all intentions. The doctor and his daughter could have just ended up at a mansion, and that mansion could have had it.
Although, like for me, for the most part, it looked like those three uncles or whatever they are, the ghosts were the villains for the most part until
Do
they
you think?
kind of.
Okay, so are they the uncles? Are they
I
aren't his actual
don't know how
uncles,
that
right?
works, to be honest, because I mean, Casper's been dead for like a really long time. So I don't know if the uncles died at a later point and then just decided to give company to their nephew or something and decided to stay back. But like, I don't know. I've not like really read that much into that um, situation. But like, I do think that at some point he refers to them as his uncles, if I'm not wrong.
He has.
Yeah, but he had no memory of his past life, so
True.
I'm guessing they just adopted him as their nephew or whatever.
I wonder
I
who.
don't know.
If that's the saying, then Casper obviously inherited the mansion first, and then the ghostly trio came in and took over at some point. And that's interesting, right? All right. So that was the one thing that irked me: the villainous arc or the lack of any sort of entertaining villain. But like you said, I suppose the main focus is the father-daughter relationship, and then their encounters with the few ghosts. I really like the more than the father-daughter relationship and the daughter and Casper relationship. I really like the scenes with the ghostly trio and the father.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun to watch.
Just moments before disaster struck, but I don't know how that happened.
I also like the fact
Where
that the
where was
planning.
that bar located that he
I
fell
don't-
off?
Yeah, but like it was quite fun to like have them hatch this plan of kind of going from a trio to a quartet. I think that's what he says.
Yeah.
And like then like eventually hanging out with them, like having a good time with them, change their minds to kind of not go through with it, only for him to eventually kind of fall to his demise, I suppose. The funny thing is, I'm sure. Oh, again, like I don't know. Actually, they can, right? They can physically stop you, or they cannot.
But,
They
I mean,
pass through at certain point.
Casper can flip a pan, so I'm guessing he has some sort of solid mass to do that,
No, I
right?
mean,
And then
Casper
He
carries
did
her.
he did carry cat right in
Yeah,
the air.
all
So
the way. Yeah,
yeah, fair.
without her consent. But okay, it's insane. But yeah, I think so. They technically could stop it if they wanted to, but they choose not to. I'm guessing.
They chose not to. The whole point was he looked miserable enough and he drank himself silly, so they were saying, why not just end his life and he'll enjoy the afterlife, right? I think that's what the plan was, to change the trio to a quartet, and well, they succeeded, but ultimately for a brief. Because Aaron, this is something that we discussed before we recorded, and that's your major issue with regards to that particular point, where the father
yeah.
dies, and then, well, because we can't have Cat be an orphan and not have two sad backstories. We had to
Yeah,
bring him
I
back.
don't think the movie would then be Casper the friendly ghost. It wouldn't. I mean,
He's
it
still
wouldn't.
friendly. There's nothing changing about that. He's still friendly. It's just
But
that,
Casper the friendly ex-ghost, former ghost.
former ghost. Yeah.
well, technically, it's just Casper, the movie is just Casper,
Mm.
so there's no hint about him being a ghost or not at the end. So, but what is it about the that entire scenario that you didn't like? Like, I mean, of course, the father had to be brought back to life.
For sure. I mean, if you think of it logically, for the, I guess for cat's well-being, you need the father there because you need like whatever, some sort of parent and stuff like that. But you would just think like an 8-year-old kid who whose life was cut short. The father actually made that shit for him. So whatever that vial
Yeah.
was, and then you are so okay with like the 8-year-old kid or 10-year-old kid saying it's okay, I meant to be dead, and you go and live your life. Like, okay. And, yeah, it just seemed weird for me. It
Would
made
Cat
sense
have
for the
actually
story,
been
I'm guessing.
would Cat have actually been better off without the drunk dad?
Without
That's a
the hobo
dark question to
house
be.
hopping dad.
It
Yeah,
would
I
also
don't know.
make for a very interesting sequel to the movie. How do the two kids survive without any guardian in there to kind of take care?
Social
Well,
service, right?
the dad is still there as the ghost.
Yeah.
As a,
The dad is still there as a ghost. The uncles are
I mean,
still there
again,
as
though,
ghosts.
it's not like he's earning money anyway because he says he needs
Exactly.
groceries.
So you're not really missing out on much. You still have the
That's
mouthpiece.
that's a valid point. Plus, because
Uh,
Casper is back, technically he owns the land and
yeah.
the
Mansion. Yeah. So you don't have to pay rent. You don't pay anything. Just bit of
No, we
strictly.
don't know that because it was Carrington's father that then put the house on the will for her. So we don't know whether the
But
house
then
was then
Carrington's also dead
sold.
now. So
Yeah, but then it will go to the estate, right? And so
mm,
there's a
who's going to
yeah,
believe,
legal,
oh,
yeah.
an 8-year-old kid is now still 8 years old after all these years? Who's going to believe that? But
no,
yeah,
yeah. But
but yeah,
I wonder if they could have made another vial. Like you had one, you could have just made a few more, and then
Yeah.
he was sent to the asylum, right? The nut house, because he
yeah, the
went around telling
Casper's
people like
dad.
I have, yeah. So the maker was said to be nuts, and we don't know if the recipe or ingredients were ever listed
Huh,
down.
So,
that's
question:
true.
right?
Yeah.
Does Casper speak to his dad at any point once he becomes a ghost?
I would think so.
That's why he would have made that, right?
Yeah,
Otherwise, the whole
because that's the
machine and stuff.
Okay, so then the idea behind Casper not remembering anything is because it's been so long
So
since
long.
that
Mm.
has happened that he's forgotten about it.
because when he reads the article, he does start to remember, right? When he reads the article, he remembers that he wanted to play on a sled, and his father then made him whatever the toy that he wanted. They went out into the cold, and then I guess he dies of pneumonia, right? Because he's out exposed to the cold
Yeah,
in that era,
yeah.
right? So I think he does remember it. It's just a period of not having, like, I mean, name with your memory loss, you'd have first-hand
Yeah, no,
relatability.
I just wanted to know if like if it happened that he was with his father at some point, and if so, then why when the machine became ready, why was he like not immediately this thing? It wouldn't have been like he created the machine, he had everything ready, and then the first thing he
No,
did
but
was to tell someone else that he's managed to
But
yeah,
he was an inventor. I don't know. Probably you would think that when someone asks like, "Oh, what are you working on?" I'm working on a mission to bring back the dead or bring back my dead son.
immediately call the cuckoo police and
you would think
capture.
trying to do something as crazy as that, you would want to keep hush hush until you're actually able to do something like that, right?
Who knows? Maybe he had investors putting in money, and they're like, "What have you done with
I
money?"
like how we think. This is that kind
Yeah.
of podcast.
Yeah, that's we're delving
Well,
deep into
well,
the back.
you made us watch another movie along the same
Hey,
lines
hey,
not so
in
long
my
ago.
defense, Casper was Friday's.
So
Was it not?
I said Scooby Doo.
no, it was you
No, I
when
did
we
look
said
for Scooby Doo. We couldn't find Scooby Doo.
you couldn't find it, so that's the last alternative that we had. But yeah,
whatever the reason, this was your suggestion.
okay. But with all that being said, I think there are a lot of plot holes, and the biggest plot hole for me was the fact that this entire thing was, I mean, the doctor was basically on a mission to find his wife, right? And this entire story is about unfinished business, which almost makes it look like a mafia story with unfinished business, mob story, right? But no, the one thing is this unfinished business, and we see that, fine, Casper, the unfinished business was he died young. He wanted to kind of try and his father was lonely, so he wanted to give his father company, and so he didn't want to go and cross the bridge. But once his father was sent to the loony bin, I mean, what more business did he really have? Like, honestly, he could have called it a day, and it's easy as tapping your heel thrice, like in Wizard of Oz. You could have just said, "I don't have unfinished business," and poof. Now,
he didn't say the magic words, right? I mean, Carrington showed us how it has to be done. So
yeah, Carrington showed, and the biggest thing is, like, we know that the mom didn't have unfinished business. In what universe did the father think that she did have unfinished business? Did he think that she still hung on because, like, she didn't want them to be lonely, or she didn't want to leave them? Because the whole point of finding the wife was that she had to have unfinished business in order to be found, right? Otherwise, if she had, then she would have been poof. And that's why
and also, what did he think the unfinished business was, that he was roaming from city to city? Like, if the unfinished business, if it really was a thing, wouldn't it be something related to do with him and the daughter?
Yeah, in which case then the wife would have come searching for them. Like, there's no point in the wife was not playing like hide and seek, in the sense that I'm hiding somewhere.
My unfinished business is that to see how much you love me and how far would you go to search for me.
Yeah,
it's like I'll make sure you don't move on.
no.
Yeah.
So also, is it like, is she tethered to a particular place and they're not able to find that place? Because, like, how Casper maybe was tethered to this house, he could have gone anywhere in the world.
No, but I think,
was he tethered? No, I don't know.
In the sense, I don't know. Like, I'm just feeling like there's no other reason. The whole plot point was like she had unfinished.
There were so many weird things, because like Casper went through the phone lines to catch thing, but then the three uncles went to the bar just with the dad. So yeah, I don't
like
really
a
know how
specific
that
radius
works.
they can travel to from their origin. Like, maybe
it's
that's
like a Deliveroo app. Like, I can only go 10 kilometers.
You can't go beyond a certain point.
But then,
so then
telecom is so advanced that we can go across through wires.
How far does he go though? He doesn't, right? Like, he's staying in a motel or something. That's not.
Yeah, I think she's staying in. That's what I was going to say. That it's good fortune that she stayed in a motel that is just very close, maybe within that radius, because otherwise he would have had a tough time finding. But no, to be fair, because the wife comes in the end and says, like, you guys love me enough that I don't have unfinished business. Then what the hell are you still here for?
No, she came, right? It was not that she was a ghost wandering. She became an angel.
Yeah.
So no, so I'm confused now. So she's an angel and she's not a ghost.
No.
So the ghostly trio, when they said that they heard of, okay, was that also maybe them trolling
that
around?
was them playing the prank,
Yeah,
right?
okay,
and that's
fine.
when the fatso
no because at the end when she comes, she does mention that
based on the fact that she does say she's been watching over them, right? So
yeah,
basically she does see at this point it's like the angel mom is being a dick. She could just literally go
Yeah.
at that point and just tell the father that, listen, these guys are just fucking around with you. There is no unfinished business. I'm not a
No,
No, but
but
why even wait till then?
why even wait till then? You know, like
yeah,
this
yeah,
idiot is bouncing around from house to house and
yeah, yeah.
mate, take it easy. I don't
Initially,
want you
I
to be
thought
looking for me.
it's more like this concept of maybe the mother is trapped in like a world between both, right? Like between
That's what the
and
ghosts
like
are, right?
maybe
They're
there
not
is
trapped, but
no, not in that sense. Like beyond like this
Oh, they went to the next level, level
next level,
2.
like just one before entering hell or
heaven.
like heaven. You kind of are stuck
I like the
there.
fact that you knew hell
Yeah.
straight away, but you didn't know the word heaven. You're like, we know where you're headed to.
Yeah, I know
No,
where I'm going. I know my destination.
no, okay, but honestly speaking, so I could get you. They could have made it in such a way that she's stuck in this nether realm or this mid-verse only because they are not able to let go.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Why
That
didn't you
makes sense,
script it?
huh?
You were 3 years old. You should have scripted it.
I was 4,
How? 95 is
97,
very young. What?
95.
95. Yeah, you would have been 2, I think.
Out of it too. Yeah, no. Oh yeah, 95. Shit, why did I think it was 97?
Maybe
Yeah.
that's the sequel.
Yeah,
That's
maybe that was.
the Wendy thing, I think.
Mhm.
That's Peter Pan. What the fuck is
The
that?
red color. What's her name? The witch.
Huh?
Huh?
What is her name? Guys, come on! There was another movie with Casper and like Wendy the witch or something like that.
Wendy the Witch. It sounds very
Yeah,
familiar.
like a red. I can't be hallucinating. This.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's Hilary Duff's one. That's Casper meets Wendy. Fair. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that was the third one. That was after watching the other sequel. There's no way I was going to the next one. But yeah, there was one apparently. Yeah. Okay.
I think
So
I need
your
to watch
memory
it
serves
again.
you well.
I watched the Wendy one, I think.
Okay.
Not the
Yeah. Yeah. No, I watched it just because I got it free from KFC. But yeah.
Yeah.
thing.
Shout out to KFC.
Shout out to KFC.
They need
Bring
to
back those
reintroduce
days.
that again. Yeah, they need to reintroduce it. I got introduced to Rush Hour too
But I
because of
think
that.
they first have to
But-
give us a VHS before they start giving us like a VHS player before they start handing out the VHS.
PCR?
Yeah,
VHS
it's been
player.
a really long time. Casper.
Yeah.
Forgotten.
Okay.
Mm.
No, so let's not digress. Now, so that was one of the major things. Like this mother could have done it at any point in time. I don't understand why she waited for this
She
opportune
liked to
moment in
see
her.
her husband remembering her. And she's like, he can't let go. He's
He
just
remembered her all this time. He could
Yeah,
have
like-
done
No, she
for
liked
the
the
for
fact
the
that
sake
this
of
guy
the
was
daughter.
not looking around.
It's
He's not
like
looking around.
why break his spirit? He is like why ruin his reputation of being a
And until that
whatever
point, I don't think
doctor
he's
and stuff.
drinking too much, right? He only starts drinking a lot once he starts hanging out with these 3 ghosts.
I mean, we've not seen his private life in the other places, but yeah, it feels like. Oh, but he's not had any success. He's not found any ghosts until now because the daughter clearly knows that. It was clearly of the opinion that he was bullshitting his way through life at that
I don't
point.
know about the daughter, but he himself, with his first encounter with the ghost, is very clear he's not met ghosts at all. So,
Yeah.
that's fairly clear.
Yeah. So those were like major plot points, which I was like, huh. Now, again, like Aaron mentioned, I think that's because we're watching it when we're in our 30s and not when we were 4 or 5. I definitely did not watch it when I was 2 years old. I was busy being traumatized. I was busy being traumatized by The Lion King and Mufasa's death to be bothered by another traumatic story in Casper. And I actually thought they were going to do a little bit of a flashback to show his entire backstory, but thank God it was just a narration. Because I think that would have been quite.
When would you have watched this? Because I definitely watched it in the 90s only. Like,
I would have watched it when I moved here. That's when I started getting all those. So I would have been in my teens, early teens. Right? No, wait. Sorry, no. Wait, I didn't move to Dubai when I was 10. I was at least 6. Yeah, 6, 7. So I would watched it when I was 8, 9. Yeah, around that time. Yeah. So I definitely, yeah. Obviously at that point of time you're not thinking, but even then I think, yeah, it's one of those fine family movie, but I don't think it's like a one to remember. It's pretty forgettable in a lot of things. There are only a few instances and a few snippets which I like. I love some of the cameos. I think we had Clint Eastwood as well, which was
Yeah.
fun. Like I weird enough to get Clint Eastwood for this kind of a movie, but I guess you can get anyone for a short film, a short snip, or clip back in the day. The last thing I think we have to discuss is are the kids in the school, because
Oh
my
yeah,
God, like
the
they've
teacher.
been terrorized by this place, but the moment someone's like living there and barely been living there, they're ready to jump ship to kind of. I don't know. Do you think they were more intrigued by the house, or they just didn't want to go to the other kid's place? In which
Combination.
case, man,
Probably a bit of both, right? I think they were terrified of the mansion, but then knowing that someone has been living there, they must have been like, oh, how bad can it be? And
yeah,
then the other kid, whoever
Question though,
she was a bit of a snob.
if
So
there was such a
mm,
party thrown at like this place which
hmm,
is supposed to be haunted, but you know there are going to be like 40, 50 odd people there at the same time, would you also opt to kind of go to this party with
mm,
what is supposed to be adult supervision?
by the way, that
depending on
adult
what
was
were
like
the stories were.
prop. Yeah,
yeah.
but no one's
Let's
actually
take
done anything.
Casimir Palace as an example, I suppose. Like, would you opt to go there at mid? Like, this is late at night, right? Like, this party's happening around
Mm.
8ish or something, right?
Yeah,
8.
yeah. Not midnight, because he gets
Yeah,
done by
yeah.
10
But
o'clock,
like,
right? So yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But
from 8 to whatever, 10 or whatever. So, would
yeah,
you be
so
okay with this? And then,
um, I, yeah. If there are a lot of people, sure. I just won't go wandering around the place at all, right? I just stay in that one place, and yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and also again, I mean, it depends on what are those
rumors.
stories of the hauntings that have happened there. Like if it's a violent ghost or something like that, then you're like, yeah, you guys are on your own. But yeah, I think like what you mentioned, the one in Russell Kham or whatever, where the guy just keeps pulling the watchman's blanket or something like that. Oh, okay, cool.
I didn't know about that. Okay, but yeah. So I think I'd be okay with it. But man, the teacher seemed so up for it.
Teacher, just one.
Teacher,
Yeah.
yeah, the professor, the teacher. He was.
Hmm.
Let's go do this.
I
Like,
think he
there's
was the one who pushed the kids for it. I think the kids were okay to go on to the other kids for the other kids party, but the moment he saw like the room, and he saw their response to how their response to Cat's narration of the thing, he's like, ah, good time.
I think
Let's
one kid
bombard.
did suggest it, right? Yeah,
yeah.
Where they
one
did.
kid like
Mm,
was one
yeah,
kid was like, how about we do it at her place, and then he like puts it to a vote, and
yeah.
then yeah,
Yeah.
I love the fact that there's zero consent from anyone. It's just like, yeah, ma'am, we're gonna have it there.
yeah,
We don't care
like
how dirty. Oh, but
we
actually,
don't
to be
have to
fair,
ask the parent or anything. It's like just yeah, we're having it
I
there.
think it happens off screen, even though it's not discussed, because the father does say that like there's a quick conversation that happens between
her
Christina's
and
character.
that guy as well, right? That the kid, that even no, sorry, there's a conversation that happens with the person, the guy who she has a crush on.
Oh yeah, that whole story also was like, why?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
have no idea what that was entirely
yeah.
going to be. Like, I thought he was going to back out at the end, and he was actually. I thought that's the angle it was going to go down. That he was actually going to be her friend and make Casper jealous, and there was going to be a lot of, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, what would you call that? It's not a threesome, but it's basically a fight. A
It's
fight,
this is supposed to be a kids movie. Hello, like okay.
right? No, but
Whole
it was
other
definitely
meaning for ghostly trio. Huh?
ghostly trio. Is it really when the other person's not living?
Well, technically, he did come back to life for a bit, so.
Yeah. No, but I thought that's what they were going to go down, but it just seemed like that also went nowhere. Like that entire uh, the prank or what they were planning to do and scare everybody.
Yeah, it ended
Yeah,
up right.
I think it didn't really serve much of a purpose, but I think what they were trying to do was like show
The bullying concept.
Casper kind of try and foil their plan so that they didn't kind of ruin the party or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe that's where they were going with it. But oh, I can't remember correctly. Who was the one who scared the two of them? It was Casper, right?
It was Casper, yeah.
Yeah. So probably that.
Yeah.
It was
So
Casper.
I don't think I thought wasn't it like
The
at
trio?
the end, right? Was it Kang? No,
Yeah.
or the trio. Huh. It's a very
I
forgettable film, given that I just watched it a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
mm,
It is definitely towards the end, and I remember they run to the hall and like
No,
he
it's
yeah,
a
got
they
ghostly
run.
trio. It's the trio. It's the trio definitely that did. Yeah, it's a trio. I don't
Yeah.
think Casper
So
would have. I think Casper was busy trying to get himself that whole wish,
yeah,
and I don't think he would have.
couple of hours to
mm,
Yeah,
have a dance with
but the
Christine.
ghostly trio definitely my favorite. In this as well as the sequel as well. I love the chemistry between those three. And while yes, they are disgusting. Oh my god, that entire food scene and when they're eating is just so. Ugh. But no, I think that was fun. I think they were the only sort of saving grace for this entire
I
movie for
wish
me.
they hadn't gone the way of like trying to bring him back to life or something like that. Wasn't the one of the story plots that they were trying to explore, because I think that's kind of really takes away from the movie and stuff. I like the part where he's remembering his past, like especially seeing the train go around and all of that
Yeah,
stuff. Like those things are really nice, but like the whole concept of him coming back to life, seeing him in flesh, and then kind of go poof after.
I don't mind even like the brief moment that we see him in his boy form, which is when the mother gives him that sort of thing. That was nice. That was nice touch. But yeah, you're right. I don't think that would have served any purpose. Even him coming back to life, like Aaron mentioned, nothing would have changed. Like what would have actually happened? Like he couldn't have taken over the mansion. I'm guessing because nobody's going to believe that an 8-year-old boy from the 1960s or whatever like came
Yeah.
back to life.
Unless this was supposed to be like a trilogy of sorts or something, and the plan was second part would be that the girl starts working on something to kind of get him back to life or something. I don't know.
I don't think that was the case, but
It just didn't do enough business to kind of warrant a.
I I think it would have done decent business, especially during that time. I'm sure it would have. Yeah, it did. Budget was 55 million. They made 289 million. So they definitely did. I think this was like I said, during that time when we were kids, I'm pretty sure we really liked it or we watched it at that point. So, and a lot of people did. And also, if I'm not mistaken, this was also the first movie that utilized CGI as an effect. So for the ghosts, and I think they did a good job. I like the fact that the ghosts were semi-solid but as well as translucent, and then he also could turn invisible and you could see their outline. So overall, I mean, compared to what we're seeing currently, let's say in some of the Bollywood stuff with how CGI is used.
This was coming. And before we started this review, I knew we'd bring Bollywood into this at some point.
But you didn't think it was coming from me, did you?
No,
But
I
no,
did.
you
I
did.
think there was for sure one of you would, but I thought you would bring up the point where it's like such a stark contrast from where Bollywood is now as opposed to what Hollywood was capable of doing back in the 90s.
It is, yeah, it is. But it made it believable. I think there's no point where I felt like the animation of any of the ghosts was so jarring that I couldn't like take it. So I really liked it. And but yeah, overall forgetful. I think I've forgotten small points of it after just watching it 2 days before. But I'm sure going forward, yeah, I don't know if this is this would be a. I know we chose it for our Halloween movie, and of course, I mean we did. And I thought there was a lot more spookiness or a little more of a creepy eeriness to it than what it was going to be. But unfortunately, not. I think it was more very, very mild.
We'll come back for Casper, the second one, for next Halloween.
Second one, yeah, next Halloween, yeah. No, let's not. Because I remember a little more about that, and oh my god, even now thinking about it, it was bad. There's a reason it went direct to video. So
I like the chair thing, that whole access to the secret layer of sorts, kind of a thing.
Yeah, we all would have wanted that in our house, right? I think,
except for the part where the blades come out, kind of shave. I like.
Yeah, why would you have stuff like that? I have no idea. No, but we all like. I think this, even the ones that were there in the old Batman movies, like you press the keyboard or the bookcase or the. I remember even Batman Forever has the where he sits on the chair and he goes down the tunnel thing. So I think those were fun things to have in the house.
Yeah.
But no, overall, it gave me the house, the settings, and the atmosphere was pretty nice. It's just the writing and the plots which were very, very vague and ambiguous. But hey ho, they didn't think kids in the 90s were smart enough. And well, we proved them.
Right.
Your words, not mine. Okay. So I guess
you give us the stats.
Is that it? Like I'm still trying to like. Is that it? Have we covered everything we wanted to cover?
Yes, please.
That is like, oh man, we need to go, and I can't do this anymore. But yeah, I think we did. I don't think there's much to be told about this movie, honestly. Like plot wise, performance wise. Performance wise, I think I enjoyed all of it. I think they played their parts well.
Kids that were there, they all did a good or decent job enough to.
And I think this was what Christina's second role. I think Adams was before this. I think
so.
Yeah, she was definitely a lot smaller than.
Yeah,
it appeared that way.
Yeah, so I think I kind of enjoyed all of the performances. It's just the writing and the plot for me. So I guess that's about it for our review of Casper. And I think with this, well, we definitely may not have scared anyone away, but give it a go. Probably you'd get scared from how bad it really is.
The creepiness.
The eeriness, the cringiness of how things were. But yeah, I guess we've completed our review, and I will catch you all on our next episode. That's it from your host, Pradyum and Naeem. See you. Boom.